Hello, my name is Helen Yermoska. I'm a certified knitting instructor through the Craft Yarn Council. Today's video is going to be about arm knitting. This is for the very novice, and I'll explain everything that you need to do in a few simple steps. So step number one is buying the right yarn. The first thing that you need to do is buy at least 3 skeins of either a 5 bulky or 6 bulky yarn. You can go with colors that kind of match, colors that don't match, or all the same color. It's your choice. That's where a lot of the fun comes in. So the first thing that you do is you take your 3 pieces of yarn out of the skein and you tie them in a knot. Like that. That just helps secure it. The next thing that you'll do is what's called a slip knot. A slip knot gives you an adjustable loop that you're going to be putting over your arm. So what you do is you go around your big finger, or sometimes people go multiple fingers, with the tail, throw it past, pick up the tail that's attached to your yarn, pinch it with your fingers, and pull the loop over your fingers so that you've created a new loop right here. That is your slip knot. You can see that the size of the slip knot is adjustable. What you want to do is put that slip knot on to your wrist. So the next step that we're going to do is called casting on. You want to take the yarn that is attached to your skeins, hold it like this, and create an E. Basically what you're doing is you're just making a loop, hold it front to back, put your hands like you're going to clap, but instead grab that yarn and put it on your wrist. Okay, I'll demonstrate one more time. Front to back, flip it like you're clapping, grab. Okay, so now we have on 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. We're going to put on a total of 6 for this particular project. If you want to make it wider, you can go wider. That's the beauty of making your own. So again, back to front, like you're clapping, slip it on. Back to front, like you're clapping, slip it on. So we have, you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've casted it on now 6 stitches. So in arm knitting, it's very fun because it's like your arms are the knitting needles, but you don't need the needles. So here's how you actually knit. Using the hand that you're knitting off of, you grab the tail, flip it over, and transfer what you grabbed over to your other hand. Grab, flip, transfer. Grab, flip, transfer. So now you can see so far you have 3 stitches on 1, grab, flip, transfer. You've now done 4, grab, flip, transfer, grab, flip, transfer. Now some of the problems that people have is they pull their arms too far apart. If you pull your arms too far apart, you're going to create too much distance between the two. So keep your hands relatively close to each other. There also sometimes is an extra loop towards the end. What you want to do is just give that end just a little tug. So now everything is on your right hand, and we're going to transfer it back to your left hand. So again, with the hand that you're transferring it over to, grab, flip, transfer. Grab. Now this is where I'm saying you give it a little tug, not too tight. Not too tight. Very important. If you get too tight, you're not going to be able to pull it off your wrists. And half of the fun about arm knitting is that it's a loose looking weave. So again, grab, flip, transfer. Grab, flip, transfer. Grab, make sure you grab all 3. grab, 1, 2, 3, flip, transfer. Grab, flip, transfer, grab, flip, transfer. You can see right now that it's beginning to take shape a little bit. You can see if it's sometimes hard, but just follow one color. If you follow the green, you can see it comes around and down, around and down. So that's all there is to it. You just, again, see how I tighten that up just a little bit? Grab, flip, transfer, grab, flip, transfer. That's where the beauty and the calmness comes. Grab, flip, transfer, isn't always remembering. Grab, flip, transfer, grab, flip, transfer. Okay, so our next step is just to keep going back and forth until you reach the desired length. So at this point, we're going to turn off the video and you're going to continue going back and forth until you get it to be as long as you want. I'm going to do a double wrap cowl, so I'm probably going to make this particular piece about 7 feet long. All right, continue. Okay, it's been a little bit and now my piece actually measures about 7 feet long. It's time to cast off. So all we do to cast off is you knit 2 stitches, just like you have been doing. Grab, flip, transfer, grab, flip, transfer. So now you have 2 stitches on your right arm. What you do is you take the first stitch that you stitched and you bring it over the second stitch and your hand and let it drop. Okay? Then you stitch another stitch. So again with your left hand, grab, flip, transfer. Then you take your back and flip it over the loop and over your hand and drop. We're going to cast off another. Grab, flip, transfer, back loop, over the loop and your hand, drop. Grab, flip, transfer, back loop over, flip it over that in your hand, drop, grab, flip, transfer, back loop over, and we have 1 loop left. So what we want to do on this loop is we want to just kind of tighten it. This is the one time you want to be a little bit tight, and you can see that it's around my wrist. What we're going to do is grab the scissors and give it about a foot tail, cut our yarn, take the cut end and bring it through the loop. Okay, so it's through the loop. If you don't do it through the loop, it's going to unravel and you're going to lose your entire piece. So you want to tighten it up like this. Okay, and now you take your tail end and you tie those 3 together. So now we have a piece that you can wear however you want. However, most people like to use these scarves as infinity scarves. So I'll show you how you do that. You can see that there are 2 sides to the piece. There's the right side, which is more smooth and has V's on it. And there's the back side, which you can see has these little bumps. Sometimes I've found that the bumps look a little bit more interesting. It's up to you, however you want your piece to look, but what's kind of fun is just to see the difference. The back side and the front side. See how the variegated yarn kind of pulls everything together too? I think that was a very fun choice. So now what we do is we're going to take and make sure, and sometimes this helps to lay it out on a table, but I'm going to just do it here because that's where the camera is. So you want to make sure that you have all the same side up and you flip your left end and you flip your right end together. So see how now they both have the right ends up. So you grab your 2 ends together, okay, And you should have 2 strings, one from your start and one from your end. Take the knot that you've created and weave back and forth between the front and the back. So we go, you're actually sewing here. So, and there's really no science to it, but you just kind of weave back and forth using your tail end yarn. Now when you get about 4 inches, leave it and use your other longer tail, kind of sneak through to make sure, because we've got to get these ends tied together over here. Oops. This is kind of hard, but all you're doing is you're sewing them together. So if you just think of it as a really easy way of knotting it or sewing it together, that's all you're doing. So here's our other loose end. I want to grab those and make sure that you grab a substantial amount. At least 3, sometimes even 6 helps. So there's your front and there's your back. Okay, so there's a whole stitch there. Now that is a big loop, and we're going to just leave that go. Now where's our other tail end? Here's our other tail end. What we want to do is bring this one back so that we can use the 2 to tie a knot. Now before I tie my knot, I like to take a look to make sure that I sewed this together well enough. And it looks like I did. I don't have any holes or gaps or anything in between. That's going to go behind your neck, so it really doesn't matter all that much, but we just want to make sure that we get it done. Now I'm tying a regular old knot here, just like you would on your shoes. Okay, so that makes that secure. We're going to put this on, and hopefully in a moment you'll see how gorgeous it looks. Ta-da!